Welcome back to the Passion with Purpose podcast, everybody. I'm Nathan Chanski, your host. And today on this episode, I'm so fired up about this because we're going to be talking about what to do if you want to become your goal self by the end of this year. And we're sitting at the beginning of the year when I'm recording this. I'm at January 5 when I'm recording this. It's the first Monday that kind of everybody's back to work in many senses after the holidays. And, I published an episode kind of covering this concept, maybe in a different way, but covering this concept a long time ago, back when I think I first put out my podcast. And so I want to revisit this topic, especially at the start of a new year, because this topic, in my opinion, cannot be talked about enough. It really can't be. I use this concept just about every single day of my life. Okay. If there was an actual hack to life, this truly, like if I had to choose like a hack to life, this would probably be the life hack. Okay. So I can't stress to you the importance of what we're going to talk about today. And I need you to get this, especially at the beginning of a new year. So let me tell you a story of how I would maybe embark on setting out to achieve a goal, or looking at a new year and saying, how am I going to get to that person that I want to be by the end of this year? Okay. So what I used to do is I used to see a goal and see that dream state, right? And I would just dream about, what will I be able to have when I arrive at that goal, right? Materially, physically, relationally, all these haves, like these material possessions in many senses, or what kind of money will I be able to have at that point, right? Or another way, on the flip side, is I would see the goal state, and then I would ask myself, what do I have to do to get there? Okay. So it's really focusing on these two things, what will I have, and what do I need to do to get there? Okay. And that's how a lot of people set out towards their goals. I think it's very natural for us to do both of those things and to put all our attention into those categories. But here's the problem with both of those questions, both of those approaches. Asking what I will have is ultimately just like daydreaming at best, and then coveting something that's not mine at worst. And both of those things were just not healthy. I don't believe either of those things are healthy. And I also don't think that just because you want something and focus on it I don't think that means you're going to naturally get it. And there's this like universe force at play that's just going to naturally bring it to you if you focus on the thing so much. I don't believe in that approach to manifestation, or whatever you want to call that. And then the second question is asking what to do to get to that goal. Yes, that's important, but that is oftentimes hard when you don't always know what to do, right? You're like, if I knew what to do, I'd probably have done it by now. And even if you do know what to do, because maybe some of you are in that place where you're like, well, I do know what to do. All of that doing is still a step too far ahead if you haven't figured out something else first, which is what I'm getting to. So one day, back in the day, I was driving to some photo shoot. I remember it was a snowy day, so it must have been at the beginning of the year. And I was listening to a podcast where this guy was talking. He was teaching on business, and this guy said, we are not human havings or human doings. We are human beings. So if you want to have the stuff and do the stuff, you have to first be the person who would have or do all of that in the first place. Okay? I'm going to read that one more time for you. If you want to have the stuff and do the stuff, you have to first be that person who would have or do that in the first place. And I did not understand the statement at first. It seemed really conceptual, abstract. But over time, I realized what he was talking about. And I asked myself, okay, if I want to run a successful, let's say multi-six or seven-figure business one day by the way, that's a doing thing. Or if I want to have financial freedom, or I want to have flexibility with my time, or flexibility with my money, or I want to be aggressively generous, or I want to take many trips, or I want to buy my wife nice gifts, etc. These are all having things. Then I ask myself, let's just say I'm already there right now. I already have the things. I'm already doing the things. Who is that person who's already having it all and doing it all? Who is that version of Nathan? If I were to literally meet that Nathan, meet that future version of myself, and follow him around for a day, or follow him around for a whole week, or follow him around for a whole month, and he had all those things that I wanted. He was doing all those things that I wanted to do. He got to those places that I wanted to get to. Who would he be? Like, who would he be? What would his life look like, right? When would he wake up in the morning? How would he work? How productive is he? How disciplined is he? How physically fit is he? How did he dress? How does he speak? What books has he read? What are his favorite podcasts? How long or short are his work days? Who has he learned from? Who is he hired or fired? What does his website look like? How does he post on social media? How often does he post on social media? What does he say? How does he write his emails? How does he manage his finances? Is he DIYing everything, or is he hiring experts in his business? Is he using the cheap software or the right best software? I could go on and on and on with these questions, right? And I realized that with every single question, not only did I have an answer for pretty much every single thing, or at least a really good guess at how to answer each one of those, but I could do all of them the exact same way that this future Nathan was doing them right then. Okay? I, in my non-goal state, could be doing the exact same things that Nathan in his goal state was doing. Okay? I could embody that 7-figure business owner that I wanted to be one day, even though I was only making whatever I was making per year, maybe like a sub 6-figure amount. Okay? I could post as if I already had 100,000 followers, even though I had 1,000 at the time. I could just be that 6 or 7-figure CEO right now. Why not? So you know what I did? I started being that person. I just decided to be that goal state person. I decided to function as if I was already him. Okay? And then you know what happened? After being that person so long, after just deciding day after day, decision after decision, moment by moment, I'm going to do the same thing that I would do if I was already there, I eventually had become that person who had and did all of those things too. Okay? Now, I'll tell you right now, I used to have this all backwards. I thought that I had to wait to become that person, or wait to be that person, right? You know, I said to myself, well, I'll wait to invest in my business for when I have that kind of money, or I'll wait to get self-disciplined and productive for when I have more work, or I'll wait to post like that on social media for when I actually have the followers, and then everyone will have to respect the way I show up, right? Or I'll wait to hire an accountant and keep my books for when I'm actually making more money to justify those expenses. Or I'll wait to organize my business for when I have more clients and business to warrant that organization. Yeah, no, big fat no. It does not work that way. The biggest blessings, responsibilities, riches, successes come to those who first show themselves to be worthy of them, right? And that's like a mystical explanation of it. And I don't mean to make it mystical. But I mean, I do believe all those things ultimately come from God. But if you want to make it something about God, I would say God doesn't oftentimes give those blessings, responsibilities, riches, successes to those who are not worthy of them. Okay. And then on the flip side, like the scientific, raw, physical side of it is that, hey, if you never act as if you're already the person you want to become someday, You will just never become that person one day because you never made the decision to become them. To be or to not be is a decision, folks. To become or to not become is just a natural outcome of that decision. If you decide, I'm going to be this person right now, all the having stuff, all the doing stuff, you're going to be like a walking magnet for that stuff, because it's like if I can personify it, it's like it wants to come to the person who's worthy of it. It wants to, people are going to treat you differently, right? It's like, okay, if you build a website that looks like a $7,000 photographer website, people will start treating you like you are one, truly. And vice versa. If you build a website that looks like a $1,000 photographer, no shame. I started there too. But if that's where you're at, and you know you should be at the 7,000 price point, hey, people are going to treat you like you are a $1,000 photographer. And so then when you quote them 7,000, they're going to be like, yeah, this is not a connection. If you dress and act like a responsible, confident business owner, people will start treating you like one, and vice versa. If you educate yourself, that wisdom will start steering your life. This goes on and on and on to so many different places in your life. I cannot stress this enough, my friend. I use this concept just about every single day of my life. It has helped me get to where I am today. And I truly think that if everyone understood this and implemented this in the world, there'd be a lot more success in this world. I truly believe that. No matter what you want to do, right? Hear me when I say you can't have or do anything in life if you are not willing to be the person who would have or do those things first. Okay? So my question as I end this is, who is the person you want to become by the end of the year? Okay? See that person. Picture that person. Sure. What do they have? Sure. What do they do? What do they do to get there? Okay. Now, who are they? Who is that person? This sounds silly, but what would you have to do to cosplay as that future version of yourself right now? Write it all down. Seriously. Some of those questions I ask at the beginning. How would they wake up in the morning? When would they wake up in the morning? Are they physically fit? How often would they work out? What would they eat? How would they treat themselves? How would they talk? How would they walk? How would they dress themselves? How would they sign up for a CRM? How would they design their website? All these types of things. Answer those questions. Write them down. Dump a list of notes. Truly, use your own brain's creativity to come up with ideas. I guarantee it, you have more than you think within you to know what makes that person. And by the way, you can also ask God who that person is. If you are a praying person, ask the Lord, who is this person, God? How do I be that person that you want me to be by the end of this year? Okay. And then once you have that, be that person. Truly be them. Be all of those things. Adhere to the notes you took. Start living and embodying that character. Don't wait for the possibility that you hopefully will become that person one day. No, it won't happen if you don't make the decision to be that person right now. Okay? Do that. If you do that, if you decide to be the person you want to eventually become, watch how quickly you do become that person with that life that you are hoping or praying for. One of my favorite creators, he always says, and if you've heard him on social media, you know who this is. He always says, it's not easy, but it is simple. And this concept is directly applicable to that line. It is not easy. It's not. It's not easy to just be that person that is your goal self. It takes a lot of discipline and hard decisions and consistency to be that person over and over and over again. But I tell you right now, it is a very simple concept. It is not easy, but it is not easy to do this, but it sure is very, very simple. So thank you so much for listening, you guys. share this with somebody who you find this would be helpful for. I tried to make this episode really short and punchy and sweet so that it's like a shot of adrenaline for you or whoever you send this to. It's only like 15 minutes long. But I really do believe that if you get this, this could be a turning point year for you, and everything could be different by the end of 2026. So get out there and be that person. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Take care.